Non-residents within Laikipia County Security Operation Area to leave. Additional special forces have been deployed to flush out bandits. And Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Tonight, 10 out of 14 judges of the International Court of Justice voted that Kenya and Somalia should split the disputed maritime triangle in the Indian Ocean. The split is, however, in favor of Somalia. The ICJ rejected Kenya's argument of a pre-existing agreement with Somalia on a parallel boundary. Our senior
4
reporter.
p.m. on Tuesday, the international ruling on a case that had been filed more than 7 years ago by Somalia. The case was on a maritime dispute between Kenya and Somalia in the Indian Ocean. 14 judges led by U.S. Judge Joan gave their verdict. In the court, Somalia had representatives, unlike Kenya, which had withdrawn from the case, saying the ICJ was biased and went ahead to announce that it does not recognize the court's binding jurisdiction. In the verdict, 10 out of 14 judges voted that Kenya and Somalia should split the disputed maritime triangle in the Indian Ocean. The split is, however, in favor of Somalia.
By 9 votes to 5, decides that from point B, the maritime boundary delimiting the continental shelf continues along the same geodetic line until it reaches the outer limits of the continental shelf or the area where the rights of third states may be affected. In favor, President Donahue, Vice President Gevorgian, Judges Tomka, Benuna, Shwe, Sebutinde, Iwasawa, Nolte, Judge Ad hoc Guillaume. Against, Judges Abraham, Yusuf, Bandari, Robinson, Salam.
In its ruling, ICJ rejected Kenya's argument of a pre-existing agreement with Somalia on a parallel boundary, as well as Somalia's claim that Kenya violated international laws. The area where the two countries have been at loggerheads about is said to be rich in oil, gas, and marine life. The two countries have a history of a diplomatic row. Apart from the maritime dispute, in 2020, Somalia instructed its ambassador to Kenya to move out of the country, claiming that Kenya has been interfering with its internal affairs. The issue was later resolved. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Elsewhere, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC was hard pressed to explain how it arrived at the 6 million new voter target. While appearing before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, the Wafula Chebukati-led commission said it is disappointed with the low voter turnout in the first week of the 30-day exercise. Musa Salah reports.
6 days since launching the 30-day mass voter registration exercise, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC has recorded 243,220 new voters out of the weekly target of 1.5 million, with a section of leaders attributing the shortfall to the ravaging drought in some parts of the country. However, IEBC is hopeful the numbers will increase towards the end of the exercise.
The core business of IEBC is also to encourage and educate the voters to come out.
Voter awareness is also ongoing. We have 2 voter registration educators in every constituency.
But we are disappointed that even the few kits that we provided are not even meeting their daily targets. So I think the issue is not the kits. What we need to address, all of us, is how to smoke out these Kenyans who are not coming out to come and register. This should be the concern that we need to address, all of us.
Maybe it is the usual Kenyan way of doing that. Probably we have planned for the last 2 weeks to see an increase in the number of Kenyans that are going to come out.
Samburu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Wajir, West Pokot, Mandera and Baringo counties recorded the highest turnout in the exercise, while President Uhuru Kenyatta's Mount Kenya backyard of Kiambu, Nyeri, Nyandarua, Embu and Kirinyaga registered the lowest. According to data from the Statistics Bureau, 4.5 million ID cards were issued since the 2017 general election, with IEBC claiming about 1 million Kenyans who attained the legal voting age by 2017 failed to register for the 2017 general election.
With your directions,
The Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, however, questioned how the electoral body arrived at the 6 million new voters target, adjourning the sitting to Friday this week for IEBC to explain its target matrix.
Applying this rate to 19.6 million registered voters gives a projected registered voters of 26.7 million registered voters. That's the projection we made as a commission.
Actually, the figure is supposed to be about 7 million because there are also other Kenyans, about 1.1 million Kenyans who have never registered before.
That's why I'm talking about triangulation. And we'll see that statistically we'll actually be talking about 6 million.
this is information to be extracted from the Department of Self-Registration, the Register of Births and Deaths. It is not something to require the Commission to go calculating or computing.
IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati was hard pressed to explain his recent uproar against Parliament's pending legislative bills on electoral laws, with the Jailer Committee insisting that all proposals submitted by IEBC had been debated on and passed or rejected.
The Commission seems to be putting blames to other organizations or organs of government. And I want them to be very, very particular today and tell us which are these bills that are pending before Parliament.
This is a copy of the letter submitting a bill to Parliament. We have not heard of this bill since we submitted to Parliament, and we request that this committee looks at it. Because this then will guide us on the delimitation of boundaries process.
Somebody's head is going to roll as a result of this. If it is not from your side, then from our side. Because somebody then is not telling members the truth that they are pending legislation before us.
IEBC is set to submit other amendment proposals to Parliament in preparations for the August 2022 general election. Musa Salah, TV 47.
Well, still on matters, IEBC and the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says the current budget deficit will hinder its preparations for next year's general election. This comes as Deputy President William Ruto called on Parliament to expedite the funding of the commission. Paul Kirobi reports.
I would like to request.
In less than a year to next year's polls, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) has yet again warned that insufficient funding could scupper critical preparatory activities ahead of the 2022 general elections. The Commission has told the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly that it is facing financial constraints in undertaking key operations to facilitate next year's polls.
And pursuant to this, the Commission launched continuous voter registration on 15th of October 2018 in Makueni County. That was, which then was undertaken in the 290 constituencies only because of limited resources, and we expected Kenyans to present themselves to the constituent offices and register. This registration of voters at constituency level resulted to low uptake, necessitating then the exercise we are doing now, what we're calling enhanced continuous voter registration. This human resource part of it actually takes more than half of the allocated budget for voter registration.
Deputy President William Ruto has also weighed in on the matter, calling for the funding of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) to adequately prepare for the elections and conduct the voter registration exercise.
Parliament should allocate additional resources to IEBC so that IEBC can discharge their mandate and make sure that every voter in Kenya is not denied their chance to participate in ensuring that the next election 6 million new voters participate and bring their decision to the table.
This Kenya needs to benefit the majority of the people. This Kenya needs to organize the economy to benefit more. The politics have to change from what has been there to now. It looked like the old Kenyan politics was about a suit and a tie and an interview. Then we have a president whom people elect, but the president that has already been chosen beforehand.
IEBC is facing a budget deficit of 13 billion that needs to be addressed to facilitate its operations. The commission had said it requires 40 billion to conduct the 2022 general election, but the National Treasury allocated 26.3 billion for the election set for August 9th, which the commission insisted is insufficient. The Wafula Chebukati-led commission say the delayed funding has previously stalled crucial electoral processes, exposing the commission to exploitation by vendors and service providers due to the urgency to adhere to our election cycle. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, students of Kisii University went on a strike to protest over school fees increment. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, school property of unknown value was destroyed during the protest before the institution was closed.
Anti-riot police officers were forced to lob tear gas canisters in an attempt to bring order amongst students of Kisii University who were calling for the immediate decrease in the just increased school fees.
Comrades, power! Today we are here to protest against fee increment for second years. Fee cannot be increased without our knowledge.
Crying and others are not even trusting in what we tell them. We told them that fee was increased and our parents are even not believing in what we are telling them.
Your fee reduced. Imagine online the whole week. Finally, inakuwa increased for what?
During the protests, the students vandalized the office of the Vice Chancellor to show their frustrations. Speaking to the press, the students said they were angry with the university management's decision to increase the school fees by 10,000 shillings without informing them.
Sisi second years tuna make sure kuna any activity na endelea kwa hii institution. Kama school fees yetu haijafanya nini, haijareduciwa hapa. So hiyo kitu isipokuwa hapa leo, tena kesho tuko hapa. Tunataka wazazi wetu wafurahie. Tunataka wazazi wafurahie. We are from poor families and we are from our families. Our parents wanasema
the university management has promised to address the issue once the students cool down. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Thank you, Elizabeth Atieno, for that report. You are watching TV47 News tonight. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us. We still have a lot lined up for you.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, you found me 5 minutes before I started recording, but anyway, so most of you have been asking me why I started Lady CLC Nighting with Joy Rongo. I have also had my own share of pain. I know how it feels to want to give up. This is basically here to speak hope and inspire somebody who's going through a rough patch, to tell them that they can turn their pain into power. Our guests are normally here to share their experiences so that you can know somebody else did it, so you can also come out of it stronger and better. Let me go to my recording, and remember to always stay tuned every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Undertaking husband duties on a boyfriend tender.
Guys, with bromance, do you share your woman with the bro? Have a sister? Give me your sister. I show you how these things are done. So you go release and be like,
Men supporting each other, not only financially, but also socially.
Don't mingle with women you can't deal with.
Is there really a formula for dating and marriage?
Some men are procreational, some men are recreational.
Every Wednesday on TV47, the Men's Conference brings you a cocktail of top-notch advice to breed alpha males for alpha females in the society.
Tunaweza tumia hii tenje tutesiwe do. Mimi naitwa Ben. Mimi ndo rafiki ya babako.
Tumeleta dozi zako usimize mtoto.
And now we have to deal with a drug addict.
Yaani ulio mzai wako. I had to.
Sema! Dozi zangu ziko wapi?
Ben! Tuishini Uganda.
The road to 2022 is becoming tougher and trickier with each passing day.
Na wawache kuja kutuletea makasiriko.
Political aspirants in a dilemma whether to change allegiance or not.
Nonetheless, you have justified your change of stance.
It's my bloody personal politics.
Tell them this. They could have gone to do law so that they become judges. They do not have the capacity, training, or skill to interpret a court order.
As a journalist, you have also had occasion to actually do some research. Read the judgment of
the nature of our job to have. The question is very specific.
Listen to me,
my question is very specific.
Every Monday at 9:30 p.m., Pundits Night brings you inclusive and candid conversations with the pundits. It just doesn't land on your plate. It takes hard work.
They require highly skilled labor.
Time.
8 months, and that means you have given it a lot of care, a lot of time.
And resources.
I remember I had invested so much in fertilizer, like I just didn't want anything to go wrong.
From a seedling, to a fruit or vegetable, as well as a fertilized egg to a chicken, duck or turkey. Here at Kilimo Diaries, Sandra Wahito takes us through it all every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Every successful business offers a solution to a problem. It could be eyewear for your visual needs, automotive for your car troubles, or even art for your creative spaces. Here at The Grind, Violet Njoki helps quiet all the business noises and make sense of it all with business advice.
The first thing is to start.
Tips.
They should be unique.
And ideas.
Put our product out there. Tunaiweka kwa social media.
Every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Kuka, phones na laptops. Je, ungependa hizi zawadi na shilingi 1,100 iwe ni yako? Ili kushiriki, tuma shilingi 50 peke yake katika till number 5943565. 5943565. Na hizi zawadi na shilingi 1,100, yani 100,000, yaweza kuwa yako. Shiriki sasa hivi.
At Trisent School of Medical Health, Science and Technology, we offer highly competitive courses tailor-made to suit your needs. These include certificate and diploma in theatre technology, medical engineering, nutrition and dietetics, science lab, health records, environmental health science, counseling psychology, applied biology, social work and community development, information and communication technology, community health and HIV/AIDS management, health services support, among others. Our September-October 2021 intake is ongoing. Register now at our Nairobi campus in Nairobi West around Nyayo Stadium on 0700-129-536. Our Juja campus next to Jomo Kenyatta University on 0700-000-760. And our Kisumu campus opposite Swan Center, Oginga Odinga Street on 0703-201-229. Trisent School of Medical Health, Science and Technology, where careers come to life. You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the International Court of Justice has ruled largely in Somalia's favor in its maritime border dispute with Kenya. In its ruling, the court rejected Kenya's claims that the delimitation will endanger livelihoods of fishing communities. However, fishermen along the Kenyan border have faulted the court ruling, as Josh Onsare now reports.
The ruling at The Hague on Tuesday, U.S. Judge Joan Denogo said the court was of the opinion that the boundary line should be adjusted so as not to produce an unreasonable result for Somalia.
For these reasons, the court, 1, unanimously finds that there is no agreed maritime boundary between the Federal Republic of Somalia and the Republic of Kenya that follows the parallel of latitude described in paragraph 35 above. 2, unanimously decides that the starting point of the single maritime boundary delimiting the respective maritime areas between the Federal Republic of Somalia and the Republic of Kenya is the intersection of the straight line extending from the final permanent boundary beacon, PB29.
The ruling eliciting mixed reactions in the country. Fishermen from Lamu County and a Save Lamu organization have faulted the International Court of Justice for not visiting the area that is being disputed before making the decision.
Kwa sababu bahari ni moja na watu ni wamoja, na siku zote hizo tunaingia Somalia, tunavua, wao wanapotea bahati mbaya wanaingia, lakini hakuna shida yote. Kwa hiyo tungependa iendelee hivyo hivyo. Serikali ikae chini ya Somalia na Kenya, wakae chini, mzozo fanyeni umalize. Kwa sababu kama nilivyotangulia, watu ni wamoja na bahari ni moja. Kwa hivyo hatutaki tugawanye kutokea mambo vita hapa, sio time zake hizi.
Ikiwa watu wataingilia hiyo mambo na kuchafua maeneo ya uvuvi na kuwanyima wavuvi maeneo yao ya kuvua, itakuwa ni donda sugu katika maeneo haya na itakuwa ni ngumu tayari.
The case concerned a 100,000 square kilometer triangle in the Indian Ocean that is thought to be rich in oil and gas. The panel of 14 judges sitting in The Hague said that Kenya had not proved that Somalia had previously agreed to its claimed border. Kenya has however refused to recognize the ICJ's jurisdiction.
Wakati mimi nazaliwa tangu sijui nimesikia boundary iko, lakini sijui boundary ya Kenya ni pande gani, ya Somalia pande gani, mimi sijui. Sasa mimi nasema hivyo, wakati Somalia na Kenya ungane mkono, tufungulie sisi biashara, tuache ile mambo ya kitendo mbaya, tuendelee pamoja.
The border was closed, times of security na kulikuwa na problem sana, but in fact we are working together atuone kina shida yote, but we want to request the government in each country. Juzi kuna IGAD wamekuja walisema tunafungua border both side. Ni mzuri sana kwa sababu wananchi kufanya kazi the both side.
The matter has strained diplomatic relations between the two countries for nearly 10 years. Josh Onsare, TV47.
Elsewhere, ODM leader Raila Odinga has promised to set aside at least 4 cabinet positions for the youth if elected president in next year's general election. While meeting a group of youth from the Mount Kenya region where he championed for youth empowerment, Raila also promised a monthly social protection fund of 6,000 shillings for every household without an income and committed to a peaceful election devoid of chaos, violence and political intolerance. Mwangi Maina has the details.
At the Manu Chandaria Center for Performing Arts at the University of Nairobi, ODM leader Raila Odinga held a consultative forum with youth drawn from different counties in the Mount Kenya region. Led by youth leaders in the region, the youth presented their petitions to Odinga on issues they want him to pledge to implement if he wants them to rally behind his presidential bid next year. On top of the agenda is the reservation of 70% of all government appointments, both in the national and county governments, for the youth, creation of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, quarterly summits with the youth upon assumption of office if elected, revive appointments of youth in foreign diplomatic corps and embassies, implement the 2-3 gender rule, provision of free sanitary towels to girls and women, choose a woman as his running mate, and advocate for punitive laws to curb the endemic gender-based violence, as well as committing to a peaceful electoral process by condemning hate speech and any form of political violence.
And the problem of health in this country, especially 10 years after devolution, will be solved only by a social democrat. And I'm sure in front of us we have a social democrat who has the interests of Kenyans at heart.
Know how we are going to eradicate rural poverty and empower our youth. We need to give them hope. And the only way we can give them hope is they have money in their pockets.
Njia baba unatembea pamoja au namna gani vijana? Tuko pamoja. Mimi baba kuna kura yangu ni wangapi? Watapea baba kura kam 2022. Comrades power. Comrades power.
On his part, Raila has pledged to set aside at least 4 cabinet slots for the youth, eradicate the perennial unemployment, provide free sanitary towels to girls and women, lead in the fight against corruption, ensure the achievement of the 2-3 gender rule, establish a Ministry of Youth Affairs among a myriad of promises delivered to the Mount Kenya youth.
Appoint the youth, got a number of them as ambassadors to represent the Republic of Kenya. And having youth in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, attending to matters of foreign affairs. Because outside the country, the majority of people you have are youth, students studying in different parts of universities in different parts of the world. So we will have a youth looking after them. You are going to ensure that each and every Kenyan family that does not have a source of income will get a transfer of 6,000 shillings per month.
Leaders accompanying Odinga have pleaded with the youth to walk step by step with him until his dream of ascending to the presidency is achieved. These leaders emphasizing the critical role Raila has played in the politics of the country, as well as promising a lump sum of goodies if he becomes president.
Talking about serious policy issues that will make you grow, will grow our economy, and will create an enabling environment for you to grow without depending on government, my friend.
When Raila Amolo Odinga said Kibaki Tosha, they decided that free primary education, some of those today are old enough to be able to vote. If your conscience treats you right, vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. I believe that this nation needs a Raila in its midst. This nation does not need a person who will pilfer, a person who has misappropriated, a person who has defrauded and or stolen the public money.
And I think that's what I heard all of you say. And you are all from Mount Kenya, and I am from Mount Kenya. All we would wish is that we have Raila in 2022 to become the President of the Republic.
This consultative forum with the Mount Kenya youth comes a few days after the ODM leader toured counties in the region and met tycoons in the region. In his efforts to climb the mountain and court the Mount Kenya youth to vote for him in his quest for State House bid come 2022, ODM leader Raila Odinga has promised to cure the perennial unemployment in the country and reserve 4 seats in the cabinet for the youth. Mwangi Maina, TV 47 from the University of Nairobi, Nairobi County.
Let's get to matters health, and in a bid to counter vaccine hesitancy in remote areas, the government has launched a hybrid vaccination approach where mobile vaccination camps are set in highly populated areas. Our health reporter Zainab Mohammed has the details.
With close to 7.5 million doses of assorted COVID-19 vaccines, the challenges in the vaccination strategy has now shifted from vaccines accessibility to vaccine hesitancy, as some counties are seemingly recording very few number of COVID-19 vaccinations. According to the Ministry of Health, Nairobi County is leading in partial vaccinations with up to 30%, whilst Marsabit County has the worst turnout with only 1.3%.
In terms of counties who lead by full vaccination, again, we have Nairobi leading with 12.7%. This is followed by Nyeri County with 9.5%, Uasin Gishu at 5.9%, Laikipia at 4.8%, Nyandarua 4.6%, Nakuru 4.2%, and like I said earlier, Marsabit is the county with the least amount of people vaccinated at 0.4%.
The government now using a hybrid approach to penetrate hard-to-reach areas through mobile camps and outreach vaccination campaigns.
The hard-to-reach area, the issue of outreach mobile clinics is very key, and the Ministry of Health and partners like the Red Cross are already starting to support those outreach clinics to reach those mobile populations in at least 7 of the counties where the uptake is low.
Further, the ministry is now urging pregnant mothers to take the vaccines in order to protect themselves and their babies from contracting COVID-19.
To remind all mothers who may be pregnant that this vaccine is absolutely crucial and that the benefits of this vaccine outweigh any risks. And therefore, we are calling on to pregnant women, expectant mothers to come forward and also get the vaccine. The last wave, we actually witnessed an increased number of women who are ending up in ICU, pregnant mothers who are really getting severe cases of COVID-19.
More than 4.2 million vaccines have been administered across the country so far. Over 3.2 were partially vaccinated, while those fully vaccinated stand at over 1 million people. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Thank you, our health reporter Zainab Mohammed, for that report. Time for us to take another short break here on TV47 News Tonight. Stay with us.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, you found me 5 minutes before I started recording, but anyway, so most of you have been asking me why I started Ladies CLC Nighting with Joy Rongo. I have also had my own share of pain. I know how it feels to want to give up. This is basically here to speak hope and inspire somebody who's going through a rough patch, to tell them that they can turn their pain into power. Our guests are normally here to share their experiences so that you can know somebody else did it, so you can also come out of it stronger and better. Let me go to my recording, and remember to always stay tuned every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Undertaking husband duties on a boyfriend tender.
Guys, with bromance, do you share your woman with the bro?
Have a sister, give me your sister. I show you how these things are done.
So you go release and be like,
Men supporting each other, not only financially, but also socially.
Don't mingle with women you can't deal with.
Is there really a formula for dating and marriage?
Some men are procreational, some men are recreational.
Every Wednesday on TV47, the Men's Conference brings you a cocktail of top-notch advice to breed alpha males for alpha females in the society.
Does that mean it is you do? Mimi naitwa Ben, mimi ndo rafiki ya babako.
Tumeleta dozi zako, usimize mtoto.
And now we have to deal with a drug addict.
Yani uliwa mzai wako?
I had to. Sema!
Ndo zangu ziko wapi?
Ben!
Tuisheni Uganda.
The road to 2022 is becoming tougher and trickier with each passing day.
Na wawache kuja kutuletea makasiriko.
Political aspirants in a dilemma whether to change allegiance or not.
Nonetheless, you have justified your change of stance.
It's my bloody personal politics.
Tell them this. They could have gone to do law so that they become judges. They do not have the capacity, training, or skill to interpret a court order.
As a journalist, you have also had occasion to actually do some research. Read the judgment of
the nature of our job to have. The question is very specific.
Listen to me.
My question is very specific.
Every Monday at 9:30 p.m., Pundits Night brings you inclusive and candid conversations with the pundits. It just doesn't land on your plate. It takes hard work.
They require highly skilled labor.
Time.
8 months, and that means you have given it a lot of care, a lot of time.
And resources.
I remember I had invested so much in fertilizer, like I just didn't want anything to go wrong.
From a seed, seedling, to a fruit or vegetable, as well as a fertilized egg to a chicken, duck, or turkey. Here at Kilimo Diaries, Sandra Wahito takes us through it all every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Every successful business offers a solution to a problem. It could be eyewear for your visual needs, automotive for your car troubles, or even art for your creative spaces. Here at The Grind, Violet Njoki helps quiet all the business noises and make sense of it all with business advice.
The first thing is to start.
Tips.
They should be unique.
And ideas.
Put our product out there. Tunaiweka kwa social media.
Every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Government has ordered all non-residents within Laikipia County Security Operation Area to leave as additional special forces are deployed to flush out bandits. The government further noting that despite enhanced presence of security teams, criminals are still trying to challenge the government's resolve to restore normalcy. Through a press statement, the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government directed an immediate enhancement of the ongoing operation be undertaken, that additional special forces and requirements under the heightened command be deployed to the operation area. Elsewhere, the Commission of Revenue Allocation has lauded Mandera County for the strides the county has made in development through devolution. However, Governor Ali Robe has urged the national government to consider reopening the custom borders of Somalia and Kenya, Somalia and Ethiopia, following a major loss of revenue which the county has suffered for the past 6 years after the closure of the border.
Day 1 of development assessment by Commission of Revenue Allocation in Mandera County. The commission applauded the county government for transformation brought about by devolution. Mandera County receives at least 12 billion shillings every financial year.
I think we were even in for a bigger surprise when we saw a vibrant airport, vibrant than the average airport in Kenya. That in itself is significant, and especially when Governor told us there used to be one flight a week. Today there are several flights a day, and it's flights that are not coming here empty. They're coming full of local people and businessmen. So this to us is the county that really demonstrates the true meaning of devolution, where we see infrastructure that's coming up, not just at the county. We were worried as a commission that we would see development happening only at the headquarters. But what we have seen so far is that this is devolution that is going to the sub-county. When we see the health infrastructure, when we see the hospital, which we're hoping to see, that offers the same services that you can get in Nairobi Hospital, it is really gratifying. Mandera boasts of transformation in health sector, having raised a level 5 hospital and oxygen plant which supplies to its neighboring counties of Wajir and Garissa. However, the county boasts the cries of major challenge in revenue collection with Mandera Bulahawa custom border closure, a border point between Somalia and Kenya, and which was greatly depended for revenue.
We have our major revenue earner was the cross-border trade between us and Somalia. Of course, the border was closed because of security challenges in the past. We are still pushing the national government to work it out with the federal government of Somalia in order for the border to be open. When the border used to be vibrant and the late Mohamed Siad Barre was alive and Somalia was a very vibrant country, Mandera County Council used to do extremely well so as to loan the City Council of Nairobi money in those days, and in terms of performance of the County Council because of the cross-border trade. Of course, we are negatively impacted by that closure of the border. Businessmen from the region urging the government to consider opening and streamlining the custom borders between Kenya and Somalia, as well as the Ethiopia and Kenyan border.
The border kuitengenezwa kama Moyale na Ethiopia juzi ilifunguliwa na government na itengenezwa kama kitu ile bridge hapo kwa Mtoni ikarudia kwa sasa program. Tungependa sasa wafungue tukue na both sides ambayo the government biashara ingie taxes ingie na watengeneze.
Tuna zamani border inaingia kutoka pande hizo sokari kila kitu inaingia kutoka pande, lakini siku hizi kitu haingii. Hata kuingia ni shida siku hizi. Jua hivyo tuko na shida hapo Mandera.
The deserted space behind me was once used to generate billions and millions of money for the great nation of Kenya. On whether this will be revived is a matter of wait and see. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Bulahawa, Mandera County.
Moving on, Victor Kiprono Ngeno, a 32-year-old man, will remain in custody for 14 more days. Kiprono was arrested on Saturday for posing as a magistrate and a brother to Devolution Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter. The victim's lawyer, Kipkoech Ngetich, said that a number of people from different places presented complaints on being conned by the suspect. However, investigation officer Elias Bayer said the suspect has not yet fully identified himself, as he refused to present his national ID, claiming that he was never issued with one.
Impersonating a judicial officer and consequently obtaining thousands of money. Complainants, Your Honor, are all over the country. Some are in Nairobi, some are in Eldoret.
I therefore find, and I am of the view, that 14 days is a quite reasonable time so as to give the police, the hearing, ample time to conduct and conclude the investigation hearing. Consequently, the application to have the respondent hearing detained for 14 days is hereby allowed as prayed.
Elsewhere, the National Celebrations Committee, led by Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho, have solved the billboard scuffle between Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru and the County MP Ngirishi. The scuffle was as a result of an attempt to pull down billboards with Ngirishi's portraits and replace them with those of Governor Waiguru. Take a look.
Those are contractual things which we have negotiated, and we are able to agree on a way forward. So you'll have them up by 6 p.m. tomorrow. But the rest of the beautification, the banters and all that will go on in the next few days. You'll see a lot of beautification around.
Well, elsewhere, after an IEBC report on Monday revealed that only a fraction of Kenyans have registered as voters in the ongoing voter registration exercise, political leaders in Bungoma County are now rallying their supporters to come out in large numbers so as to get registered. Mike Agwongo reports.
Political leaders in Bungoma County are now urging residents to come out in large numbers and register as voters after IEBC declared low turnout in the first week of the national exercise. Only 202,518 Kenyans, which represent a meager 13.5% of the intended 6 million Kenyans, were registered in the first week of the exercise, against IEBC's target of 1.5 million new voters weekly target.
Nataka kuwaomba muende mshike kadi ya kura, muwe tayari kwenda kupiga kura.
Senate Speaker Ken Lusaka and Ford Kenya Party leader Moses Wetangula says registering as a voter is the only way of ensuring leadership change, besides charting a way forward for Luhya unity.
Hii ni kaunti iko cosmopolitan, iko na kila jamii, na tukae tukipendana kwa sababu hakuna mtu aliomba ruhusa kuweza kufanya kuzaliwa hapa.
According to IEBC, a big percentage of Kenyans are waiting for the last minute to come out and register as voters.
The responsibility of a democratized election lies in the hands of Kenyans themselves. Watu hawezi chakua kusaliwa Mjaluo, mtu achakui kusaliwa Mkikuyu, mtu achakui kusaliwa Mluhya. Bungoma must be a home of everybody.
Kama kaunti ya Bungoma, hasa mimi kama gavana wa jimbo la Bungoma, niko mstari ya mbele. Tutatembea hapa tuhakikishe watu wetu wamepata nafasi ya kuwa kwa register ya IEBC.
For TV 47 na Mike Kagwongo.
Thank you, Mike Kagwongo from Bungoma County. Time for us to take another short break. Sports news is up next. Stay with us.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, you found me 5 minutes before I started recording, but anyway, so most of you have been asking me why I started Lady CLC 19 with Joy Rongo. I have also had my own share of pain. I know how it feels to want to give up. This is basically here to speak hope and inspire somebody who's going through a rough patch, to tell them that they can turn their pain into power. Our guests are normally here to share their experiences so that you can know somebody else did it, so you can also come out of it stronger and better. Let me go to my recording, and remember to always stay tuned every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
undertaking husband duties on a boyfriend tender.
Guys, with bromance, do you share your woman with the bro?
Have a sister? Give me your sister. I show you how these things are done.
So you go release and be like,
Men supporting each other, not only financially, but also socially.
Don't mingle with women you can't deal with.
Is there really a formula for dating and marriage?
Some men are procreational, some men are recreational.
Every Wednesday on TV47, the Men's Conference brings you a cocktail of top-notch advice to breed alpha males for alpha females in the society.
Tunaweza tumia hii tenje tutesiwe do. Mimi naitwa Ben, mimi ndo rafiki ya babako.
Tumeleta dozi zako usimize mtoto.
And now we have to deal with a drug addict.
Yaani ulio mzai wako. I had to.
Sema! Dozi zangu ziko wapi?
Ben! Tuisheni Uganda.
The road to 2022 is becoming tougher and trickier with each passing day.
Na wawache kuja kutuletea makasiriko.
Political aspirants in a dilemma whether to change allegiance or not.
Nonetheless, you have justified your change of stance on
It's my bloody personal politics.
Tell them this. They could have gone to do law so that they become judges. They do not have the capacity, training, or skill to interpret a court order.
As a journalist, you have also had occasion to actually do some research. Read the judgment of
the nature of our job to have.
The
question is very
We
specific.
Listen to me.
My question is very specific.
Every Monday at 9:30 p.m., Pundits Night brings you inclusive and candid conversations with the pundits. It just doesn't land on your plate. It takes hard work.
They require highly skilled labor.
Time.
8 months, and that means you have given it a lot of care, a lot of time.
And resources.
I remember I had invested so much in fertilizer, like I just didn't want anything to go wrong.
From a seed, seedling,